Oh yeah. The first indication was to get this little, that's a starrett. You know, it's about 3 inches long or something, but it costed $14.96 at some point. At least that was the price. But to drill 4 holes in that setup right there, one rail clamped into the vise, you know, to drill them holes straight up and down, perpendicular to the earth and all, you know, then you call that little level, wipe it clean on the bottom, and then I'm gonna put it right there. And if you look at that, I'm not sure we're seeing the same thing. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I should get a close-up of that. So anyways, you know, to confirm that this little bitty thing right here is good, then, you know, I'd fall back on this. This was in a tool kit one time, and I dropped it on the floor, and the little thing on the top there with the hole in it fell out, and it has been lost since. But I still rely on it if I want something to be fairly precision over a length of this amount, then I call on this level. It serves me. It has served me well through the years. So as you can see that, and I did take the liberty earlier when I put these in there to file the nibs off of them punch marks, but to turn it around and look at it on the other side, it's the same amount. You know, if the little marks are still there, it's still functioning in it. So, you know, I was thinking, most people ain't gonna accept this right here. You know, machinist, you know, that measurement right there, he'd probably go home the rest of the day. A machinist, if I throw this out there, leave a comment if you think otherwise. Especially a union machinist, you know, they'd be off to the tool crib. And when they get back to the tool crib, this is what they would fetch up. And they'd be gone a long time too, because they'd stop and get coffee on the way. But they would come back, and they'd probably have this little, starrett longer, and you can send these in for calibration, but they function the same. It's a level. So, you know, thinking this right here will be a more precise level than anything else they are, you know, accepting none other than this right here for. Okay. Well, it's the same. You know, I thought I was gonna be able to call out a different number there. You know, I thought I was gonna have to go for some thousands, but it ain't there. So I'm gonna turn it completely around to see if it was biased, if any way. Well, I should get a close-up of that. Yeah, I'll turn that in for grade. So anyways, you know, that right there would be acceptable. I'm pretty sure in anyone's, you know, turning something in for a test and it calibrated out that right there, I think it'd pass. I'm just saying. Well, some would argue that it's not long enough. It's too small for the job. So I'm going to turn that, get it back under protection, and get it back in its container. But while back at the tool room, here would come to, because anyway, they work by the air. Machinists do, most of them. Most of them do. I don't quote me on that. It's according to where you work. So they would come back with this big old thing here. It's a starrett, and it's about that long. It's longer than it's ample. I think it's long enough to be required, and the graduations are larger here. It also has a scale this way right here. And you know, I was thinking about this project, and if I'm level enough in one direction, you know, I'm going to accept whatever amount of unlevelness that I'm off in that direction over. I'm just going to go ahead and accept it what it is. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, I'm going to put this on here. You know, I think you're supposed to wipe down through there, and you're supposed to wipe up through here, and then you set that on there, and you register it in there if you want to know how it works, and then you put this up here on this like this right here, and oh yeah, well, see, it made no difference. So you know, all this measurement here is for naught. It's the same measurement now as when I started with the wee little one. So I'll show you something. We had this one involved in it, and we had this one involved in it, and we had this old standby was second. So now, accepting all of these measurements, and I'm going to say it's off a little bit. You know what I mean? If you actually put the scale on here, it would read, well, it was 1,000. So the scale is at hand. You know, how thoughtful of them. So you surely would accept the combined measurements of 3 different size starrett levels in good condition. So, you know, to say starrett is probably the best, it be under argument by someone, thus, to compare to what some would say, don't even bring it into your shop. This is a brand new one, made like the second time out of the box, let's say. But this is one of them new type levels. So, and it's got the wax paper on it. So okay. Oh yeah. Oh, I'll go ahead and turn that in for grade right there. You know, that's level enough. Drill them holes. Just saying. And kind of where we're up to right now, the present, is just kind of waiting on the paint to dry. You know, got all the parts there. And we'll put another coat on there, Rust-Oleum. That's that 100 green right there. McCormick Deering Type M 1.5 horsepower. We'll have that Bosch Magneto mounted. 1923 year model. Well, you know, I let that Rust-Oleum right there, I'll let that dry for about a week or so. Put another coat on there. Well, in the meantime, I can go ahead and get that fuel pump working. You know, I'm just going to take a wooden dowel with some of that there coarse valve seat grinding compound on the stick, appropriate angle, hand drill,
and I'm gonna freshen up that seat in that fuel pump. I throw a couple of new check balls in there. I think it'd be good to go with that new plunger shaft, and we'll add up the cost on all that.
Okay, I think we'll be able to work with this. So, this is what we got to work with. I'm just saying, that's it. It's going to be on the test, you know. Took notes. 1923 McCormick Deering. That's one of them type M's right there. Got one of them Bosch magnetos to go on it. It's got a spacer plate underneath that magneto to align it up with the gear set that's in this engine here, meaning that it could be used on some other application without that spacer in there.